There is a bit of ducks, paddling, looking serene on the surface, and the feet going at the bottom. But Hello, I'm Joe. I'm one of the directors of Radar Festival, and I'm very tired.
I can imagine. Thank you for your questions, by the way. I was quite surprised.
I really enjoyed our podcast. It was
great.
Good chat. Yeah.
We did need to do have a catch-up one.
Yeah.
Proper in-depth, like before. But obviously, you said you're tired. How was the weekend been so far?
Oh, man, it's been brilliant. We've had no problems, really. Oh, there's no wood to knock on. Our biggest problem was the day before. All the picnic benches we hire for our customers to sit on cancelled on us and just went, they haven't come back from another job, sorry. And I managed to find new ones in an hour. That's the biggest problem we've had this year.
Yeah, we can't provide you with the thing that you requested.
We were a bit annoyed about that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So, deal with it.
Yeah, that was the gist of it. And so we quickly phoned around, found something. Yeah, it's been great. When this festival runs well, and obviously we had a tough year last year through events that weren't of our making, it just runs well. Like there is a bit of ducks, paddling, looking serene on the surface, and the feet going at the bottom. But the people that work here are all really great professionals, and I spend a lot of my time just mooching around, watching bands, chatting to people, and that's when it's going well. Last year I spent a lot of time in my office on the phone. I've never zeroed a phone battery from an entire day on the phone before, and I did that 4 days in a row. But every other year, this is how it should be. And actually, the most tiring thing this year is everyone's been coming up to me going, "Oh, you don't look very stressed." I'm like, should I? I shouldn't look stressed. This is how it should be.
Strange. Is that no?
Well, I think so. I guess they care.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah,
but
it's how I take it.
Yeah, but fair enough.
It's like the birthday thing we talked about a minute ago. You have to acknowledge it every time.
Mate, you should be fucking shattered. Yeah. You should be run ragged, running around stressed out.
Why are you enjoying yourself? Actually, when I was talking about doing this festival, John, who runs Euroblast Festival, who's a good friend of mine, he said, "You will not be able to watch anything, and you will not enjoy it." And he was kind of half right, but you get to watch bits of things. Like I saw a bit of Volumes last night. I saw a bit of Thy Art Is Murder. I saw a little bit of Pint Glass. I like to go around and see bits, but I couldn't tell you the last time I watched a whole set. Oh, the Pint Glass Masterclass.
Oh, nice. That looks fun.
Yeah, I pitched the idea to them with the picture of when Homer Simpson builds a barbecue and it goes wrong.
One of my favourite scenes ever.
I just sent them that picture and went Masterclass ?
Amazing.
And they did it.
Amazing. Yeah. Scream like him as well. That scene every time gets me so much.
It was. There was a moment where they produced a sledgehammer at the end because I didn't know what was going to happen. I purposely didn't want to know, and all of my friends who were watching it with me turned and looked at me, and I'm going. Because I think of all the ways it could go wrong. It didn't, and it was fine. There was a risk assessment, and absolutely, and health and safety on site. Absolutely.
So, of course, Old Trafford's over there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was going to ask you about your cats, but I'll get to that in a minute. Obviously, you brought it up. Obviously, you have trials and tribulations. There's a lot of extra bits going on behind the scenes that obviously not everybody sees. How do you deal with those sorts of situations? Obviously, last year, and then the change of vocalists for the headliner this year, and obviously Chelsea Grin dropping out and getting Volumes at last minute, that sort of thing. How do you cope with that? All that sort of
Well, obviously last year was a bit of an outlier because of the scale of what was going on with it being national news and everything. And people will find it frustrating, but the honest truth is we're never really going to be able to publicly tell the story of what happened. It was what it was. It was pretty horrific to live through. The best part of my day was waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, when you forget who you are for a couple of seconds, and then it would come to, and then I would go, oh no. And then that was my day. I lost 2 stone in 2 weeks from stress.
Holy shit.
Yeah, 2 stone. I put it all back on now, but I love food. So, but yeah, it was horrible. So look, that was what it was. No one teaches you how to deal with something like that. I'm not a big crier, but I cried a lot last year. God, the worst moment. We weathered like getting the doors open, and all my best friends are here. Me and my best friends are so horrible to each other. If you see each other, you wouldn't think we're friends. Yeah, it's true love. And I was chatting to someone, and I saw Khan from Heart of a Coward, who's one of my best mates, over their shoulder, looking at me with this look of sadness, and I just cracked and started crying. 7 days of stress, and I just burst into tears. I was like, I am in the middle of the festival. I need to get to my office and hide. But look, it was what it was. We got through it. To answer the rest of your question, generally, I'm a pretty serene guy. It takes quite a lot to make me stressed. Quite often when things happen at the festival and someone comes in going, blah, 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 this is happening, and I'll be like, calm down, it's not the end of the world, whatever it is, we'll get to the bottom of it, just chill. The worst one on a normal festival, like you said, is when a band drops out with not much time, because sort of wargaming it, you have to go, right, who's in Europe right now? Because, the Discord and that are throwing out ideas, and they're brilliant ideas, but, X-Band live in America, they're not going to fly over at the last minute.
It's realistic.
Yeah, or, the band that's dropped out is on £1,000 fee rather than the top-end fee. They're not going to come over from Scandinavia on that kind of money, so you have to be quite realistic on who you can get. And then it's who is about and what can you do, and obviously Ben from Pint Glass is in Bound in Fear, so when we lost Fire Nova, it was like the band I wanted to see the most this weekend. Not through no one's fault, the singer's not well. It was what it was, but I said to Ben, what do you think? So I have to be honest, it was Catherine's idea. She keeps telling me, I keep trying to steal this. So Catherine suggested Bound in Fear, and we made it work. They confirmed in an hour, sorted it out. It's fine. Things like the Zayat singer, I actually didn't know why it happened until I spoke to you a moment ago. I didn't know they had a different singer until they arrived on site and someone told me. It just had passed me by completely. I usually pick up on things on socials or whatever. I had no clue.
That's how I found it. So, we're just on Instagram and he put an apology video out.
Fingers on the pulse for me.
So, okay, let's talk about your cats, shall we?
Yes, I have a lot.
I mean, my lovely colleague Paul behind the camera, he also sends money to cat protection and that sort of thing. So obviously, that's where you got them from, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of cats now because I'm 40-something years old, 42 in a week. But we lost my favourite girl last year just after the festival, and then I kind of made a mistake in that I started looking at the Cats Protection website a lot, and then there was 2 kittens. I was like, oh, okay, let's go and have a look at them, and I got in there, and then when we were about to look at them, they rang up and went, there's 3, and my partner was listening, and I went, it's not a deal breaker, but it's a conversation, and she went, what? I went, three kittens, and she went, okay, we'll still have a look. I was joking with her, I wasn't intending on getting 3 kittens, and then we went and saw them, and she turned to me and went, well, what are we going to do? And I went, what do you mean? And she went, we can't break them up. I was like, all right, we're getting 3. So now I have 4 cats.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And fair play for going for the Cats Protection.
Yeah, look, there's so many homeless cats. Black and white cats are the hardest to rehome, the tuxedos. So we got 2 tuxedos and yeah. The ones that have the white there and and socks usually.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, so we got 2 tuxedos and a fully black one. I think they're called voids.
Okay.
And to add to our existing tuxedo. So my garden is just 4 tuxedos wandering around.
You're getting on well. All getting on okay.
Yeah, well, it took a little bit of integration. Our existing cat, Pumpkin. Not the best name, but she was a rescue at Halloween. So her and Shadow were her and Morticia, and Morticia was such a bad name we changed her to Shadow. But we kept Pumpkin, it was all right. We didn't name it though. I don't think Pumpkin I feel a bit cringe being a guy calling a cat pumpkin, but
Cringe you by?
yeah, she was a bit cantankerous with them at first because she's an old lady, but she's grudgingly accepted them, and her and Nova, the Void, absolutely love each other, so it's kind of worked out.
Good. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Okay,
Yeah.
curveball for you. If Radar Festival was a movie scene, which one would it be? Best way to describe it.
High Fidelity when they're in the record store arguing about music.
Nice. Great film, by the way. Underrated movie.
The book's better because it's an English setting. The film's great, but they make it American. No offense to Americans, but it's it's a Hornby book, isn't it? And it's really English when you read it. But yeah, that scene. That's all everyone does, sit here and rate and rank bands.
I don't know what to think of it. I feel that's a bit of a shitter on people that want to go watch something, enjoy something, and go, yeah, I gave that a 2.
And I feel exactly the same. I mean, funny enough, I was in the vets the other day, and the person behind the counter, covered in tattoos, honed in on my tattoos, got chatting, and she said something about being a recent Deftones fan and that she was a poser for it. And I said, no, music is subjective. Like, Catherine, my business partner, loves the Venga Boys, and her favourite bands are Muse and the Beatles. We can't book them here, but it's all fair game.
I mean, one you could try, but it'd be the only band playing. And
Yes.
one, don't exist anymore.
Well, yeah, very true. I mean, budget permitting, we could probably get a impersonator.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you see, it's one of those things where you just don't know, do you? You have no clue. People go, why have you got so-and-so? Because we literally don't, you just can't afford it.
Yeah. I mean, if Paul McCartney sells out an arena, I mean, that's
Goes without saying.
yeah.
But I do have to thank you. I have never heard of Volumes before. So then,
I see you're wearing the T-shirt.
so when I did some research, I got them for an interview yesterday where I did some research, I was like, I fell in love immediately. So I thank you very much for bringing them to Radar Festival because I didn't know they were about, I never heard of them.
I mean, it was pretty funny because Chelsea Grin dropped out and we were trying to replace them like for like with a deathcore band because we really wanted it to fit with Die Art. I tried a few things. Didn't work, like I said, no one's in Europe at the right time or they're playing Bloodstock or whatever. And I was just talking to Volumes about next year and I was like, do you want to fly over in a couple of weeks and just do it? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. And it happened, yeah.
Unreal. Love it.
So yeah, you might get them next year as well.
They were very...
I mean, that chat's still going on. It's not confirmed, but
I love it. It's like, yeah, that's happening. That might be a thing next year.
Yeah, if they ever want to play, they've got a place at Radar. They're so loved here. They really got involved yesterday. They did a Q&A in the masterclass. They did a signing. They were all over the place, meeting people. They had a great set. They're loved. When we announced them, there were a few people who were a bit annoyed that we didn't do like for like with Chelsea Grin, but then the rest of it was just everyone going, yes, Volumes, get in.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, this balanced out. Yeah.
Now, when I spoke to you last year, you mentioned that you were going on a trip to Ukraine,
I did it. Yeah.
and you've now done. How
I slept through 2 air raids in Lviv because I was very drunk. So when you go there, you have to download an air raid app because obviously the country's at war. And we went out drinking with the guys that run the Ukrainian downloads. I butcher the name of it every time. It's like Fein Minstro or something. I actually did it with Heart of a Coward year before the war and the pandemic. Great festival. So we're in this cool bar where you have to go in, you have to knock, you have to give a password, which is Slava Ukraine. This guy opens the door, opens the door, lets you in, go down. It's like a cross between a bar and the Imperial War Museum. So the walls are exhibits and it's really high quality and cellars. Apparently it's where the resistance used to base themselves in Lviv. And then we went in and they were being really hospitable, these guys from the festival. There's 5 or 6 of them. And not all of them could speak amazing English, so they had an interpreter there. And they just kept bringing out bottles of vodka, and we thought it was like sipping vodka. Within an hour, me and Stu, who does the Radar podcast, and all of them had each had a bottle of vodka. And I have not been that drunk in my entire life. we made it another couple of hours, and I was in bed. And yeah, we slept through 2 of the air raid apps going off. So just to clarify, it's not like the city was under attack, but if a Russian aircraft or missile enters the airspace of Ukraine, everyone's phones go off because it could be anywhere in like 2 minutes.
So it's not specific.
It's not specific, but also sadly that's how deaths happen, because people get blasé about it. It's like, oh, it's not here, and then they don't evacuate to the air raid shelter and their house gets hit. The week before we went, Russia launched 500 drones at Lviv where we went, and 2 got through, and there's this harrowing video of this drone like slamming into a building that they sent us and sort of said, just to be aware, this is the reality you're going to. If you don't want to go, do it. And sorry, just to clarify, what I did is I drove a vehicle which we fundraised to pay for all the way to Ukraine to be used on the front line in humanitarian, so it'd be like evacuating. Turned out ours was being used by sort of their version of the special forces to shoot down drones from like a radar, like something that zaps them out the sky, because all the cities are just air fortresses with air defences. And you know, some of the other guys' vehicles that got taken over will be picking people up, and the reality is half of them are probably destroyed now, because their lifespan of these vehicles is a couple of weeks. They showed us this video of one of the vehicles they brought over, because sometimes the drones operate in pairs, and there's this video of one slamming into the front of the truck to disable it, then the guys get out and manage to shotgun the one that's there to kill them, and that's kind of like the lifetime of these vehicles that go over there.
Such a crazy world, man. I mean,
yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, and the people there just feel so forgotten. And so the background is my family. I'm half Polish, and my family came from Lviv when it was part of Poland before it was annexed by Russia and Germany in the Second World War. Yeah. And I went there part of a coward, and I came home and I was just chatting to my mum, and she was like, what have you been up to? I was like, oh, I went to Ukraine, I went to Lviv, and I was like, I had a really weird feeling when I was there, like it felt really like homely, and I don't believe in stuff like that. And my mum was like, our family's from there. I was like, oh, because I had this weird feeling when I was there. And I've just been watching the war and feeling really helpless, like there's nothing I could do. And so I started searching, what can I do? And I'm a graphic designer. I was like, maybe I can help with digital marketing or something, which I am getting involved in now, because I met people there that I got introduced to. But now I saw, oh, I can drive a vehicle, that's easy. And I kind of felt I wasn't really doing anything, but when I got there and they said, these are vital, I was like, okay, cool. I feel like I've done something, but I want to do more.
Well, fair play, man. Absolute hero. Really like that.
Oh, I'm not a hero, but
that word gets thrown on a lot now. You know what I mean?
It's weird because, people ask what it's like, and you kind of want to go, "Wow, it was an adventure," but that's such a disservice because people are literally dying every day. And we went to this graveyard in the middle of Lviv, where they got started at the beginning of the war, and everyone that died in the military from Lviv is there. It's got a picture of them and Ukrainian flags. And they showed a picture when it was won, and now it's an entire field in the centre of the city. And they're all older, they're like 40 to 50, because they're trying to protect the young people, so they want someone to rebuild afterwards. So they haven't done conscription, and mainly it's the 40-plussers have signed up. And so there's lots of families who've lost their dads, uncles, brothers. Oh. Sorry, this is taking a turn.
It's all right, mate. It's all right. Let's move it back. If you were to play Radar on the main stage, what would you play?
I'd piss my pants, because I can't think of anything worse than standing in front of all those people. On the first Radar, Ash, one of our business partners, made me and Catherine go up and sort of say a thank you to everyone in Guildford. Not for me. And then he tried to do it on the second one, I just flat out vetoed it. I was like, we're not doing this anymore.
You can happily do this.
Well, it's just me and you and a camera, but standing in front of upwards of 1,000 people is not for me. When Heart of a Coward, I tour managed them at Download, and they packed out the third stage, and I looked up and there's about 8,000 people there. I was sort of doing the stage list and stuff, and I went, I don't know how people, there's different kinds of people, aren't there? Some people really enjoy it and it's what they love, and they look at this crowd and like, oh, this is amazing. Me, I do not want that many people staring at me. I'm a behind the camera kind of person generally, and I break cover occasionally to do the odd one of these, but it's not my thing. I mean, look, if there's an instrument I feel drawn to, I'm not very musical, which is ridiculous because my dad's a famous musician, my cousin was in Sonic Boom 6, my brother can play loads of instruments, my other cousins can play loads of instruments, but I need to be good at something instantly, and I tried so many instruments and it didn't work. But drums are what I was always drawn to.
Okay.
If
But
I was
you
to
could
do it.
put the festival on for your family.
Yeah, probably.
You could play it all.
Yeah.
And you could, yeah.
My dad's a folk musician. I mean, I don't really want to do a folk festival. They're cool, but it's not my thing. You know.
I mean, you mentioned obviously Vino dropping out. We'll get to it because you really want to see them. Because I was going to ask you who you were excited that you got for this year.
Volumes were probably the bands I musically listen to the most, my favourite. Because the thing is, when we're booking, I make a playlist every year of what we're trying to book, and I'm always listening to it when we're working. I just keep adding stuff to it. You know, some of it's unrealistic, but it's like a vibe. I try and build a vibe in a playlist.
Yeah.
Then we have the playlist of the festival, and I listen to that quite a lot while I'm working because I like to know something about everyone. No one gets booked blind. You know, we listen to everyone and try and fit it like I guess we try and book it like a playlist. You know, it's like sometimes you go to the bigger events where it's quite jarring band to band to band, and what we want is it to sort of flow. And it doesn't always work because, you know, sometimes you think that band's going to be perfect and then they have to do the Friday, and the band that they should have been with are on the Saturday. And people are like, why did you put all the metalcore bands on 3 days? It's like, because they can only do X days. Other than them, I missed a big one. Northlane, we've been trying to book them every year. One of my favourite bands. Absolutely love them. They're fantastic. Probably the band I want to see the most. Yeah.
So you're watching them later, I take it?
Sorry?
You'll be watching them later?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Probably the 3 or 4 songs I can generally get to watch.
But obviously, I can't let you go without talking about next year.
Yeah.
And obviously, the fact that you just announced we've got the Doom original soundtrack being played in full.
When saying it's not
With an orchestra.
Yeah.
With a live band.
It's a very long thing, so I don't know the full. Obviously, all the bangers. We've got a little bit of work to do, so we got introduced to Mick, and I just had a phone chat with him. We got on so well. He was in Brisbane, so it had to be at like 10 p.m. so we could catch each other. Just got on so well. At first, I didn't know really where to put it. I was like, oh, maybe this is like main support. And then I thought about it for a couple of days. Like, no, this is a headline thing. And then I said to him, how about an orchestra? And because he was intending to do it with a live band with him. And then we said, what about an orchestra? And we were throwing ideas around. Everyone's super hyped about it. And yeah, it just came. It was probably one of the easiest bookings I've ever done. And as we sit here now, 26 or 7 hours since we did the sign up for the pre-sales, we are sitting on more sign-ups than we sold tickets this year. And it's going up 100 every hour at the moment. So I think by the time we get to the end of the week, we'll have more than the capacity of the festival. That obviously, signing up for that doesn't guarantee a sale, and but the demand is massive. Yeah.
It's a genius idea. It's an original idea. No one, I don't think, has ever had that.
He did the Game Awards. He did a couple of tracks on that because someone in the announcement went, actually, he has done this before, and I petulantly wrote back under the radar account, actually, it's the first time with an orchestra, laughing my head off while I was doing it. And then someone else was like, why is it in England? And I just commented with the EasyJet website.
Yeah,
but you can't please everyone. But it's gonna be amazing. It's so us, you've just got here. Have you seen the gaming market yet?
I have seen the gaming market.
Yeah, so we really try and lean into the gaming side of things, and it's kind of, if you look at a Venn diagram of people like me and you who like our festival, you've got gaming, you've got probably Magic the Gathering, tabletop games, musical instruments, and the bands, and it just all fits perfectly.
Combination.
Yeah, and the culmination is probably this, having a headliner who absolutely marries those two worlds together. And like I said to you before, you know, I listen to a lot of what I'm booking, so I've been listening to the Doom soundtrack almost non-stop while making the artwork, and because I do all the graphics and stuff for the festival, it's got quite hyped about it, listening to it and imagining it, you know, with an orchestra. And look, don't take this as confirmed because we barely even started looking at it, but the ideas at the moment are like projection mapping the room and having flames and a screen and, you know, all this stuff. So
whatever you do, it's going to be incredible. Whatever happens.
I think it's going to, the backing band is going to be a little bit of a super group as well. So more news on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because my final question obviously is, how is it all looking for next year? I'm assuming you've started and it's on the way, isn't it?
We have a lot of news coming out next week, which I can't say right now for fear of it leaking.
I wasn't trying to get anything out of
No. The only thing we've got public, obviously, is the Mick thing. I just actually workshopped an incredible idea with the Pint Glass lads for next year, which I just had the idea when I was walking to the venue this morning. And we're going to talk about that in October. First big band drop in October. We're going to let the Mick thing sit for a bit.
Yeah.
Bands in October. We've got another headliner booked, but we can't announce them until December. So most things should be out by December.
Okay. Just keep your eyes peeled. Just keep watching the socials.
Hit refresh on the socials a lot. Sign up to the mailing list as well, because we always try and give the mailing list the news first. Or join our Discord. We've got an amazing Discord community. It's weird because we always try and we can't get it going on Facebook, on the groups. Like, it just doesn't work really on ours. You look at, you know, our mate Gav at Damnation. Their Facebook stuff is thriving. All of ours is the Discord. It's incredible, you know, like all of our best regulars are in there. They always riffing on ideas. We've got show us your pet sections, and you want to travel to the festival on your own, that's where you're going to find friends. Actually, I think I'm literally going to run from this because they're doing a Discord meetup in 10 minutes and wanted to say hi to everyone. So I encourage people if they want to know more, and you know, me and Catherine chat in there all the time, and we're quite open about the festival. So people ask us questions, we'll just answer it straight away.
Joe, my friend, thank you so much for your time.
Always a pleasure.
Man. Thank you so much.